I think I kind of sort of had kind of a radically different experience playing Cyberpunk 2077 than maybe possibly most people on Earth, if any people at all, had this experience. So when I played Cyberpunk 2077, I played as, at the time, I had an orange mohawk. Those of you who haven't seen my hair reveal video, I have a mohawk. It's long, therefore it's a death hawk. So I got the big fluffy mohawk and I made it orange. Um, and that was my hairstyle. And then for the body, I chose a female body, plate plate of metal for the genitals, and um, male voice. Now, for those of you who have never played Cyberpunk before, one of the aspects that is kind of its like claim to fame, if you will, is that when you choose the voice gender, that is how you're perceived by NPCs. And so, in my playthrough of the game, having a male voice meant that everybody treated me like a male, which I was looking for. And I did not know until I started playing the game that people would call me Mister and Bro and Chico and stuff like that. Um, and it was a very pleasant surprise. But when you finally meet Johnny Silverhand, who is played by Keanu Reeves, my one of my celebrity crushes ever since I was a little child. I think I can't remember, it was before. I no, it was before. It was definitely before. So before I ever saw The Devil's Advocate, I already had a crush on Keanu Reeves, and seeing The Devil's Advocate just solidified it. And I was really looking forward to seeing him in a video game, so I was looking forward to liking his character. And then I didn't. I disliked him strongly. And I couldn't quite put my finger on why, besides feminism, um, which isn't very conducive to a conversation, you know? Like, calling him unfeminist is not necessarily saying anything towards the writing skills, per se, you know? It means he would be a bad person in real life, but in a dystopian story, someone being a little fucking anti-feminist, that's the worst thing he's ever done. Big whoop, you know? So I couldn't put my finger on what about Johnny Silverhand in particular rubbed me the wrong way. And then it was last year, it was, I think, October or so. I was scrolling through YouTube live streams to find a new live stream to join because I had left one scorched earth style, and therefore had a void to fill. And I stumbled across the Cyberpunk Let's Player. And he's a great guy. His name is Fury CEO, not a sponsor. I highly recommend, if you're into video games at all, if you're into Cyberpunk at all, you give him a follow and check out some of his videos or some of his live streams. It's a great community. He is highly emotionally intelligent. He is a really healthy role model for healthy masculinity. And he is queer friendly. He has always, like, defended my right to be queer and Muslim, and he makes sure that I am comfortable and all that. And he's the kind of guy that I can open up to. And I have before. He doesn't always answer because he's got really healthy boundaries. And one of his boundaries I've noticed over the past about a year now is that if he doesn't know what to say, he just doesn't say anything at all. And guess what? That's a lot of the times the correct answer. But in his live streams, He and his moderator, who I am also friends with now, we're talking about how the dialogue options change depending on if you have a male voice or a female voice, independent of other characteristics that may be gendered. So you can choose a female body and a male voice and be read as male. And I was pointing out that that was how I did my very first playthrough of the game. And they're like, oh, neat. I hadn't even thought of that as a first playthrough. And I'm like, yeah, it was just kind of like, it was given to me as an option. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do this. And then Talos, the moderator, said, one thing I should note is this line here when you meet Johnny is the same regardless of if you are male or female. And I was like, what? When you first meet him and you make a first impression of him, and he says, what kind of joy toy are you supposed to be? Joy toy being basically a softcore slur, a reclaimed slur, if you will. Like lesbian is a reclaimed slur that people use to self-identify. Joy toy is a word for a prostitute. He called me a prostitute because I was female. And I was like, oh, he calls anybody a prostitute. This entire time I thought he was insulting me because I was in a female build. But no, it was independent of my gender completely. He calls everybody a joy toy during that line. Even if you're fully male, male voice, male body, male genitalia, he still calls you a joy toy. And I was like, I've been reading this situation entirely the wrong way. But, you know, in my defense, when I played CyberPunk, I think I played it back when it first came out, and I was very drunk. And then I played it again with my ex-wife when I was what we call dry, where you're not drinking, but you're not exactly sober-minded. I was pregnant, so I couldn't drink, but I wasn't stopping drinking forever. I was going to start drinking again once the pregnancy was over. So I wasn't sober, I was just dry. And there is a huge difference between being 6 to 9 months sober versus a year plus sober. I have seen in my cognitive abilities change. And being able to see other people who are not my particularly strange gender, seeing that it's like indiscriminate instead of a discrimination really, like, first of all, it blew my mind. It blew my mind at all. And then it made me have to reimagine how I felt about this character. Because I had been reading him wrong based off of misinterpreting the first impression. So yeah, I did CyberPunk wrong the first time, and that's how. And also, for those of you who like my Tourette's, when Keanu Reeves comes on the screen, my Tourette's says Daddy. So take that as you will. Alright, thanks for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!